You ever been hurt so bad that it shook your soul, betrayed so deep that you questioned your own worth? Life will test you like that. People will walk out, talk down, doubt your every move and smile while doing it. They'll throw shade, they'll laugh behind your back, and they'll think your pain is permanent. But that's where the fire begins. That's where your real story starts. Because when they think they've broken you, that's when you rise. Not out of anger, not out of hate, but out of hunger. The hunger to become more. To grow so tall that their words can't even reach you anymore. See, revenge ain't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about turning your heartbreak into hustle, your disappointment into discipline, and your pain into purpose. When life hits you hard, you don't cry about it. You use it. You channel every ounce of hurt into progress. You show up to the gym when you don't feel like it. You study when everyone else is sleeping. You work when nobody's watching. Because you understand something powerful. Success is the quietest form of revenge. Growth is the loudest clapback. Every time they said you couldn't, you kept pushing. Every time they overlooked you, you sharpened your craft. You stopped chasing people and started chasing your potential. You stopped begging for validation and started building your own stage. You learned that the people who walked away were never meant to stay, and the pain they left behind was the fuel you needed to become unstoppable. There's a point in life when silence speaks louder than words, when your elevation makes the noise for you, when your results become the conversation. That's what growth does. It silences the gossip, it humbles the doubters, it exposes the fakes. Because you didn't get even, you got better. You didn't seek revenge, you became the lesson. So when they laugh, let them. When they doubt, let them. When they count you out, smile. Because the same people who once looked down on you will one day look up to you. And by then, you won't even care. You'll be too busy growing, too busy winning, too busy becoming everything they said you never could be. Growth is the best revenge, not because it hurts them, but because it heals you. It takes all the pain and turns it into power, and when that power shines, nothing can stop you. Pain is the beginning of transformation. Every time you face rejection, betrayal, or failure, you are being handed a choice, to stay bitter or to grow stronger. Turning pain into purpose means refusing to let your wounds define you. It means taking everything that was meant to break you and using it as fuel to build something greater. When life hits you, don't run from the hurt. Study it, understand it, and let it teach you. The people who hurt you, the moments that crushed you, they were shaping you, molding you into someone who could handle the weight of your destiny. Purpose is born in pain, because only when you've been through the fire do you learn how to stand tall in the heat. You stop asking why me, and start saying watch me. You turn tears into drive, heartbreak into hustle, and scars into strength. Pain gives you perspective. It sharpens your vision, it humbles your spirit, and it builds your patience. You start realizing that revenge isn't about hurting anyone back. It's about rising so high that the pain that once defined you becomes the reason you win. You take control of your narrative. You shift your focus from what happened to what's next. And in that process, you discover the kind of strength that only comes from surviving what was meant to destroy you. Revenge is loud, but success is silent and undeniable. When you let your growth and achievement speak, you no longer need to defend yourself or prove your worth to anyone. The people who doubted you will see it in your progress, in your discipline, in the peace that surrounds you. True revenge isn't found in words or arguments. It's found in becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Let your work echo louder than your anger, because energy spent on hate is energy stolen from your greatness. Every time you choose to improve instead of retaliate, you build something that lasts longer than any insult. Success has a way of silencing critics. It exposes jealousy, reveals truth, and demands respect without ever asking for it. When you elevate yourself through focus and consistency, those who once laughed will have no choice but to watch. Your achievements become your voice, your confidence becomes your statement, and your peace becomes your proof. The satisfaction doesn't come from seeing them lose. It comes from realizing you never needed them to win. Growth turns you inward, away from vengeance, toward mastery. You stop reacting to negativity and start responding with results. The best revenge is not shouting, "I told you so," but letting your progress say it for you every single day. Silence has a power that noise can never match. When you choose discipline and growth over arguing and explaining, you begin to master the art of control. Not everything deserves a reaction, not everyone deserves a response. The moment you stop chasing validation and start building yourself, you shift the balance. You become untouchable because your focus no longer wavers. Self-discipline is what transforms potential into progress. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. While others waste time proving their worth, you're putting in the work that speaks for itself. Every early morning, every late night, every quiet grind behind closed doors adds up to something louder than any words could express. Growth is never noisy. It's steady, it's patient, and it's built in silence. The results are what make the noise later. The people who once questioned you will start to wonder how you did it, but you'll know it came from restraint, consistency, and inner strength. Choosing silence doesn't mean weakness, it means wisdom. It's knowing when to walk away from distractions and pour that energy into building your vision. It's training your mind to stay focused even when the world tries to pull you off course. Through discipline, you become your own competition, and your growth becomes your revenge, not through rage or words, but through the unstoppable force of self. Mastery, when you stop chasing people and start chasing your potential, your entire world shifts. Growth happens when you focus on becoming better, not proving others wrong. The need to prove yourself fades the moment you understand your value doesn't depend on anyone's approval. Every second spent trying to convince others is time stolen from building yourself. The real challenge is not outdoing someone else. It's outgrowing the version of you that settled for less. When you put your energy into your craft, your mindset, and your habits, you begin to create results that no opinion can touch. You no longer need to tell people who you are because your actions make it clear. The peace that comes from knowing your worth is far louder than any argument. You start setting boundaries, moving differently, and thinking with purpose. People may call it arrogance, but it's really awareness. You've learned that proving others wrong is temporary, but proving yourself right is eternal. When your focus shifts inward, you stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You realize that growth is not a race, it's a personal mission. Every day you show up, you get closer to your potential, and that quiet consistency becomes the ultimate power. The satisfaction doesn't come from applause or recognition. It comes from looking in the mirror and knowing you didn't need to compete. You just needed to commit. Every setback carries a hidden strength, a lesson waiting to be turned into fuel. When life knocks you down, you can either stay on the ground or use that moment to rise stronger than before. Growth is born in those moments when nothing seems to work, when the doors close, and when the people you counted on disappear. Each failure is a test, asking if you're serious enough to keep going. Turning setbacks into fuel means embracing the pain without letting it define you. You learn to look at rejection not as defeat, but as direction. You start to understand that every delay is preparing you for something greater, every hardship shaping your resilience. The people who rise the highest are the ones who use their disappointments as motivation instead of excuses. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." You realize that the same fire that burns can also forge, and you choose to be refined, not destroyed. Every time life pushes you back, you push harder. Every time someone doubts you, you double your focus. Growth becomes your response to pain, your comeback to every loss. You no longer see obstacles as endings, but as beginnings of a stronger version of yourself, built from persistence, patience, and purpose.